that there is a lack of the ability of part-time National Guard members to utilize the SkillBridge program. So being a federal program, we filed the HCR, which says two things. One, we're asking our federal delegation to research and support the expansion of the program to include part-time National Guard members. And two, which is to me really the more important part of this, to let more businesses across the state of Louisiana know that the program is there, to let Louisiana Economic Development know that this program is there, and do everything we can to transition our veterans from military service back into the private sector. I have many letters that I've provided to the chair, and I'd like each of you to see them at some point. If you don't have copies, they'll be in the record, from several major companies from around the United States that are already taking part in this program, and one of which is John Deere. And just to give you a flavor, I'll read just a comment from John Deere. John Deere is a proud industry partner in the Department of Defense SkillBridge program. We at John Deere are passionate about finding a way to give back to those who have served our country. These programs assist service members in making the transition from the military, help businesses attract talent to meet future workforce needs, and to help develop the local communities near our factory locations and dealerships. That really hits the nail on the head, and I'll use that in my close. What I'd like to do, Mr. Chairman, is turn over the comments to Andrew Ward with Acadiana Veterans Alliance.
Mr. Ward.
Hi, thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Committee. Like Jean-Paul said, Rep. Coussan, I brought this idea to him, and we understand that the Department of Defense SkillBridge program can work. One of the things that we haven't seen it work effectively is in the state of Louisiana, and we're trying to get more private industry to buy into that. We're trying to get companies like John Deere. We've had discussions with Amazon. We've had discussions with Northwestern Mutual and locally grown companies that have all expressed their support for hiring and providing a pathway for these veterans in their next stage of life in their civilian career. And so what we want to do is provide some advocacy for that. We have some other gentlemen that are going to speak today that work for organizations like Hire Military, NextOp Vets. So independently, they're all doing the same thing. They're all passionate about giving back to the service members that are wanting to better their lives through their next stage in life. And so we're just going to kind of give examples on a national level how it can work, because Hire Military is a national organization with the SkillBridge as a partner. And just so you know, the SkillBridge program, just in a kind of a 10,000-foot view, if you are a service member, active duty military, that's coming out of your service career and you're 6 months out and you're saying, I want to get out, I don't want to be in the military, I'm going to move on. They provide that internship program with that partnership from that private industry or that private employer, and DoD pays that employer for that internship program. It's a win-win for everyone involved. And so the private employer at the end of the 6-month term can say whether or not they want to hire them or it was a great internship. So there's really no downside for us. We just want to be able to expand the attention, awareness, and really make it a driver for economic development and opportunity in the state of Louisiana.
Thanks, Mr. Ward, and I appreciate the effort that you put into such a tremendous program, and particularly your innovative thoughts in terms of creating this novel program for the state. I think it's going to be a great asset. So we'll hear from some of the other witnesses. Who would like to go next?
Thank you.
Ben Armstrong.
Mr. Armstrong, I have a card. What's Next Opportunity Veterans?
Yeah, NextOp Veterans. So Next Opportunity basically is what we've hyphenated ourselves down to. We are a veteran employment nonprofit that operates here in Louisiana. We've operated since 2018. Since then, we've placed 400 veterans in careers in Southeast Louisiana. We're a nonprofit, but we act as a recruitment firm. So we work directly with the individual veteran and give them case management as they transition out of service to help them with those speed bumps that come along with transition. And then we also work with companies to fill roles, right? Traditionally, we place veterans in about 30 days in roles that pay $56,000 and above. Last year, we took a hit because of COVID, but we're back in raring, and I think we have 40 placements this year already. And our goal is to place over 175 veterans in Louisiana this year. Particularly what we do from our standpoint, so I can give you a local understanding of how this program works. we are proselytizing for this program on a daily basis. The veteran transition starts about a year out from service now, so they're getting spoken to by people in transition as they walk out of service. But now, because of this program, they have the ability to get that internship 6 or 3 months out before they get to service. And we've seen on an individual basis that it really progresses their ability to get in careers and not jobs, because it allows an employer to try before they buy and kind of bring them in. And secondarily, it allows employers that want to support this talent population but don't know how to access them because they don't know what their skill sets are, they don't know what their soft skills are or hard skills are. It gives them a bridge to do that without pay. Correct. So, organically, we've pushed this year. We have 7 SkillBridge people going in Louisiana currently. Our leader right now is Performance Contractors out of Baton Rouge right here. They're very passionate about veteran and military talent, and they have 2 currently working with them that are service members that have exited service that are learning the ins and outs of industrial construction. Louisiana Pepper Exchange in New Orleans is another great partner of ours, and they have 3 currently that are going through there. These are people that are hyper interested in the hot sauce business, but they're learning that through this. And then last, we have more HVAC here in Baton Rouge that has an individual that got out with an HVAC certificate, but now they're able to walk into that. So brass tacks for us, we're trying to create less runway for the individual veteran as they transition into their careers, right? Getting a career can really in the media, you hear a lot about PTSD and the veteran suicide issue, right? We've found through research that getting a career can actually take those other co-curricular needs away. So hyper-focusing on this, and as a state, to go back to the points that the representative brought up, I think it's imperative that we talk more about this program so companies can organically get involved or work with an organization like mine to get involved so they can get access to this talent population. And then secondarily, I won't spend too much time on this, but the Louisiana National Guard, if you delve into that, has some real issues with underemployment and unemployment within their ranks. And this would be a way to really leverage that talent population that has gone and got some training but doesn't have the length of service of your traditional veteran to better Louisiana and to get people better talent. So, barring any questions, just giving you an understanding that we're in the trenches every day with our transitioning veterans here in Louisiana, and this is an amazing value add to their transition.
Totally agree. Thank you, Mr. Ward. Next witness, state your name and who you associate with.
Yeah, I'm Eric Huff, and I'm with Hire Military. And I want to read something to y'all real quick, and then I'm going to kind of venture into the, kind of going off of Hire Military specifically. The DoD SkillBridge allows service members to participate in full-time internship and fellowship training within the industry, as he mentioned, in the last 6 months they're in service, to provide them with recent and relevant experience and increase the likelihood of skilled employment. And that's a big deal, skilled employment after they separate or retire. These experienced and skilled service members are assigned to the host company on a full-time basis, relieved of military responsibilities, and participate as a fully integrated and productive member of the host company team, where they learn and develop under the guidance and experienced members of that company's team. Because a service member is still on active duty, and this as it is written now, it only pertains to active duty soldiers and active guard, AGR, or guard soldiers and reserve soldiers that are on active duty. So those traditional guardsmen, as he mentioned, aren't covered under this program. They continue to receive all pay and benefits to include health insurance from the DoD. So this is a big deal with the DoD SkillBridge in reaching out with companies and saying, hey, you get an opportunity at no cost to you to train somebody for up to 6 months. Guess what? It's kind of like a test drive on a vehicle. You don't get that a lot of times. You hire the guy, and then you realize he wasn't a fit. Well, this time you can train him. And guess what? You train the guy the way you want him, and on the day after they separate from the military, they've got a high probability of full-time job. Right now with DoD SkillBridge, they're about 85% of those transitioning service members that do a DoD SkillBridge program end up in a full-time role with a company. And what we see is that normally transitioning military, if they get a job when they get out, generally there's an extremely high percentage of them that leave that position within the first year. And these candidates are much more likely to stay with your company longer. So that's an asset. There are right now, and I think about 2,400 service members anticipating separated from the 3 military bases. But nationwide, there's a estimated 235,000 soldiers that transition each year. And so what we're looking at, sometimes we talk about Louisiana, but a greater number of service members are serving at the Fort Hoods, the Fort Lewis's, Andrews Air Force Base, or a Norfolk Navy base that are from Louisiana and have all intention of coming back to Louisiana when they get out. So this is a huge thing. And, I think if there was a way we could adopt it to the traditional guardsmen, the 1 weekend a month guys that aren't on active duty, it would be a huge asset, not just to those veterans and those service members, but to the industries that they're able to do an internship in.
Now the program that's going to be facilitated by this bill would offer it to the National Guardsmen.
I believe that's the intent, to research and to see how viable it is.
All right, thank you. Any other witnesses would like to just go ahead, sir, and please state your name and who you're associated with.
Yes, sir. I'm Chris DeGuelle. I work for the Department of Homeland Security. I'd just like to lend my testimony as a five-time former commander and let you know what I see from SkillBridge. I've also served on the Louisiana Cybersecurity Commission and the Resilient Louisiana Commission, and you'll see some bills coming up this session out of those commissions. They're great bills that focus on the economic development and workforce development that are going to make our state competitive in the future. The thing is that that's in the future, and a lot of it requires investment of tax dollars to get us to where we need to be, and it gets us there 3 to 5 years. What we're looking at is SkillBridge allows us to achieve that investment now. We can start bringing on board talent in Louisiana from Fort Polk, from Barksdale, from all the bases around the U.S. and overseas, everything from diesel mechanics to medical technicians to people who are ready to step into a C-suite across the board. But right now that opportunity doesn't exist in Louisiana, and we're seeing those folks who separate from Fort Polk and Barksdale go to states that do have strong, viable programs. They're going to Texas, they're going to Florida, and we're seeing that talent leave our state, and we're having to invest more of our own tax dollars to get us up to those levels, and other states are taking advantage of this. Really what we need right now is your advocacy. When you meet with leaders from the C-suites, ask them, hey, have you heard about SkillBridge? Have you know that you can invest immediately and return to our service members as they separate? Secondly, and this is just from my experience as a commander, when an elected official finds something interesting, commanders find it fascinating. So when you meet with our installation commanders at Fort Polk and Barksdale, ask them what they're doing to push their folks into the SkillBridge program. I can tell you there's nobody that important into a unit that you cannot stand to lose them for the last 4 to 6 months of their enlistment, of their career, so that you prep them to be viable members of the community, so that they don't have a gap of employment, so that they don't necessarily have to go on unemployment, and they continue to return and serve communities, because that's really what most of them want to do. And that's a lot of what HCR 1 seeks to do, is raise the viability of this program in Louisiana and infuse an immediate flow of talent into the program, into the areas where we need immediate workforce solutions. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
One caveat to that, to what I said, is the organization I represent is nationwide. I live in Pineville, and I'm from Catahoula Parish, and I put more people in SkillBridges in San Diego and Sarasota, Florida, than I do Louisiana. So if we can bring more focus on that, that would be great.
All right, we have a question by Representative Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, thank you so much. At the appropriate time, I just wanted to move favorable, and thank you all for your great work.
Thank you, Representative Hughes.
Thank you.
Representative Marino.
No, it was move favorable. He's quicker than I am, I guess.
Good deal. Representative Cox, you'd like to offer some testimony?
I just want to commend these men for their servicemen for your coming up to work forward with our veterans, because many of our veterans are now we're getting labels, but what happens is these programs will allow our service members to come back and integrate into the service, and they become productive members. And one thing we know how to be on time, because if you get there on time, you're late. So I really want to, you've already proved, to move it forward, but it is a great program. I think we need to start looking more and more. I think we can change some of the environment, because these guys are great workers, and if they get this time to do this training, especially the National Guard, I didn't realize that they were under, that they had a employment issue. So this would be a great program to help our National Guard, who fights overseas, and my hat's off to you, and I'm with you. I've talked with some of the guys about the programs, and I'll be getting with you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Cox. That concludes your witness, Representative Coussan. You can close on your bill.
I'll close. Yeah, I want to thank the witnesses for coming, thank for their service. I'll note in closing that Representative Cox and Senator Cathy are both co-authors on this bill. I invite all of you to join me in this effort, co-author the bill as we move forward. And again, I'd like to thank John Deere, Bunker Labs, Omega Protein, Deep Southern Equipment Dealers Association, and Northwestern Mutual Life for submitting their letters in support of the program. I know we're going to have a lot more companies involved after this. So with that, I appreciate that someone moved favorably, and I'd ask for your favorable passage.
Thank you, Representative Coussan. And I think it's a great bill. I'm a veteran. I've been a commander, and I know Representative Cox as well. And I do know how important it is for us to take care of our soldiers. And they're some of the most committed, loyal workers you can have. It's a benefit to the soldier and a direct benefit to our communities as well, and to the businesses they may serve. So I think it's an excellent bill.
Excellent.
We have a motion by Representative Hughes to move HCR 1 favorably. Any objection? No objections. HCR 1 is reported favorably.
Thank you, committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Representative Cox, on your bill.